So I could log into.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Rose. How's life in New Zealand?
It's good. It's good. It's wet.
I just had a New Zealand couple staying with me for the last week. They just left yesterday.
From New Zealand or Australia?
Yeah,
Oh.
New Zealand. From New Zealand.
Where are they from?
Oh, way down south, about 2 hours south of Dunedin. So out right on the coast somewhere down there.
I'd love to meet them. I give you permission to give them my information.
All right. They're gone. Yeah, they were part of it. They were here to help and do a bit of work. You know, I'm a host on this work away program, you know, where people come and work a few hours every day and they get bed and board. So so it's helpful. We got a few jobs that were lingering or hanging around for a few years done, you know.
They can come and stay free in my Airbnb and walk my labyrinth, and if they want to do work, they can use the work. Oh, I'm
not sure how much into labyrinths they are, but or were.
They will be now.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Right. Hello, Mr. Christie.
Hey, Tina. I was living. I presume you're in Tassie.
It's wonderful in Tassie.
Yeah.
We've had some. That's what I'm doing now. If you can plug that in for me, please. Oh, it goes into both, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. Let's grab that. Grab that.
I was just tracing there before I came on my latest Labyrinth, which is a 3D printed Labyrinth.
Ah, what's the material it's on? Is it?
It's
plastic?
some kind of plant. No, it's a plant polymer or plant sugar. It's very quite thin, and it's light.
And it's very light.
I was sent it as a gift as a guy in England called Jim Bailey, and he's set up pilgrim paths. He's printing different types of labyrinths about that size. He also does a labyrinth ball.
Oh,
which is a.
That's interesting.
But you go from the center of one side to the center on the other side, which is yeah, it's a.
We're just doing some removals here.
All right. Yeah. So it's two 3D printed hemispheres stuck together. I know you probably can't see the joining there. Just there.
The top comes off the bottom. That's the problem.
Oh, great.
So
that's really interesting. I can imagine that being like a large mala bead or a rosary bead. You know.
Yeah.
It's that tactile.
Yeah, it's
the fingers moving around.
Yeah.
That might have another beficial effect.
It's like you know, these stress balls that you get, you know, but you can't squeeze it. That's the other thing. Well, you could. I've a tendency to try and throw it, you know. He also sent me a lovely little keyring, no?
Oh wow! So, does this guy have a website? Because I can see lots of applications, like so many gifts for children out here sitting in, you know, they sit. You know, they might as well do that instead of other stuff they do.
His name is Jim Bailey. So I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I can just do a quick check and see what his website is. I'm not sure if he said he's fully up and running yet, but we'll see.
That's exciting. Does he make other colors, or you don't know?
Yeah, he's a big swatch of colors. Is that the word? Is that the word? Oh yeah, jimbailey.org there. Hold on now.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you.
Keep going. Oh, sorry. I forgot about it. Is that enough?
Is his shop there? Yeah, his shop is there. Let's see what has he got on it.
behind the scenes of the glamorous Zooms.
Yeah. No, we have to get back into Zoom now.
Yeah.
And there's his website. If I can share the screen, I'll just show you his website while we're waiting.
Yeah.
Let's see now.
So do you, now that you've got that light on, do you want the other headlights the same?
Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, look at that.
And now
Wonderful.
these are the labyrinth balls, I suppose. I don't know.
I'm gonna get one for everyone. Just
Yes,
send them to people. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Let's see what else. I just see scroll down and see has he anything else. No, not yet. Has he 3D?
Well, the fact he's got here. Anyway, hello, Tony. Lovely to see you.
Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing again. Well, I know in case people wonder what the hell is going on when they join. Yeah.
They're like, oh, hang on, we've gone down a rabbit hole, you know.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah, down into the labyrinth. You know. Yeah. I have a long-term project in my mind of doing a 3D above ground labyrinth, but you could probably do a 3D below ground one as well if you were really clever and had an engineering mind, you know. But
yeah,
I've made a small model 3D one, you know, where it's like in a mound where each level is a circuit, you know, so you step up.
That would be
when you step up. And you're stepping up and stepping down, and so but
so while I've got you, you know how you talked about the tarot last time? Is that all in your book? I haven't bought your book yet.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great.
It's in the book. Let's see. Life turns. I just see where.
Just like
one thing we didn't do is put an index in the there's a labyrinth and the tarot. I don't. Oh, this is coming out funny, but a couple of pages on it.
Yeah, it inspired me.
You can see my tags when I'm giving a talk, you know. But the problem is you end up with lots of tags, and then you can't find the one you're looking for.
That's okay. It's in a book, so when the internet shuts down, you've still got it, you know. But it inspired me to revisit the tarot because I used to read tarot for a long time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm not currently doing that, but for a living. But it's very, very interesting. Extremely. So thank you. Yeah.
I just did a short bit of tarot a number of years ago, and it's we might even be touching not in detail like we did last time, touching briefly on it today with just it's all the connections that the labyrinth has with other paths of progression. Is that the word?
Well, yeah. It's exciting, really.
Yeah.
Just checking with everybody who's in already, if you could, where your name is, if you could also type in where you are, so we have a sense of where we are around the planet, going up to those three dots in the right-hand corner and rename. You can add to that. Rose, do you have a sense of how many are joining us tonight?
I think there were 13 enrolled, but you and Tina weren't on the list, so probably 15 or so.
Yep. And also Alan, we're at Alan and Lois's, so they weren't on the list. So we're
17.
Okay, that's great. Awesome. So it looks like we have some new travellers on this mystery tour, which is great. And we are on 6 o'clock right now. So let's maybe just give it a couple more minutes while the ones that are right on time are right here.
Do we going to try and do it on here? We're just going to turn the TV on. What? No.
Tony, if we're just sitting around, I put in the chat a picture that a friend put on Facebook talking about Glastonbury tour as a raised labyrinth. So have a look at that image in the chat. Mm.
I've been to Glastonbury a few times, and I haven't walked the supposed labyrinth in the tower, but I know some people who have.
Yeah.
It's quite a long walk, you know, for I don't know, would you get a labyrinth effect from it, but yeah.
Interesting.
Is it there? Probably is. Has anyone been there to walk it?
No,
Not yet.
sadly not.
Hmm. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
I think it's almost 7 years since we met up in Penguin.
I was trying to work out the other day how long it was, but that was just wonderful, just wonderful. So and I I completely forgot last week. I've watched the replay. So I've written myself notes all over the house today to make sure that I'm here in time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Great.
Yep, that's better. Just checking if anybody does get travel sickness. This is probably the right time to take your ginger tablets. As you know, we don't know where we're going, so be prepared. I would say a bit of ginger's good. I've got a lemon and ginger cup of tea, especially for the ride tonight. Looks like a lovely bunch of coconuts tonight joining us. Right. It won't be long. We're just doing a last head count on the bus, and it looks like the bus driver is doing his favourite thing, smiling and waiting.
The bus big?
We've just been to a lovely production this afternoon of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, by a beautiful young crew at a year 11 and 12 school.
Oh.
We're full of lots of shockingly colourful visuals and sound experiences. Yeah,
I'll bet.
That's why we're in the big smoke, and that's why we're with Alan and Lois. Well, it feels like this might be the crew at this stage.
And the rest will catch.
And the rest will jump on the bus. We have an easy way for them to drop in through the roof as we're travelling. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us on this second excursion of wondrous adventures into the unknown. The first one was very rich, and I'm sure we're all going to be generously entertained and explored and deepened into our journey with the Labyrinth. Do you want to say something about that? There you go. Questions and stuff.
Oh, okay. So just a quick reminder that on the bottom of your screen, you've got options, and one of them is reactions. And if you click on raise hand, you can see that hand is next to Mark, and that lets us know that you've got something that you'd like to share or something you'd like to ask Tony about or have him elaborate on or clarify. And then afterwards, click on lower hand. It clears that and makes space for another person to step in.
Yeah, and if you could be on mute for the journey and just mute yourself so that we don't have any other background noises taking us elsewhere. That'd be lovely.
Cats and dogs are welcome.
Cats and dogs are welcome. Unicorns are welcome. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'd like to start with acknowledging where we are and the lineage of each and every one of us to be with us and acknowledging that as the source of our being, where we are right now. And for each place where we are, acknowledging the original custodians who have travelled and thrived on the land where we are. Yeah, and a special welcome, a bridge to New Zealand with Rose. Thank you so much for Rose jumped on board, and I'm acknowledging her for her groundwork to make this production happen, and also the Australian Labyrinth Network having this bridge that we've made with Tony, and we love to just keep that that bridge open and flowing, and really acknowledging the source to Ireland and to Tony, and thank you very much for joining us. Tony is a messenger of oneness, a mystic, a spiritual teacher, labyrinth consultant, and pioneer. He brings messages and teaching of oneness through his work. He's been working with the Labyrinth for almost 20 years. He teaches about the Labyrinth as a symbol of oneness, as a symbol of interconnectedness of all existence, and as a symbol of you. He works with the Labyrinth as a healing tool and a safe space to explore your journey in life. Tony is an author of a book, The Labyrinth, Your Path to Self-Discovery, and the creator of the Labyrinth Wisdom Cards. He's the founder of a new healing modality based on the Labyrinth called the Melchizedek Labyrinth Healing. Tony has presented workshops all over the world. He speaks at events and conferences with a view of inspiring and uplifting those present. Tony is a lifetime member of the Labyrinth Society, an advanced Veritas certified Labyrinth facilitator. He is a qualified reflexologist, a Reiki master, advanced Psych-K facilitator, a certified space clearing practitioner, and a practitioner of Kiri Yoga. And a great friend of ours. So happy and so glad to be on this journey again. Over to you, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And it's lovely to be here with friends. Anytime we're with Labyrinth people, it's always a group of friends. So you're all very welcome and delighted to be seeing some people I haven't met for a number of years, and people I'm meeting for the first time in this lifetime at least. yeah, I like to thank the Australian Labyrinth Network as well for trusting, giving me almost free rein to drive this bus wherever we want, wherever I think it's going to go. I have an itinerary, but you know, if we see an interesting by road off to the left or the right, we could just head down there and see where we end up. You know, it's I like to keep things a mystery for me as well. So you know, oftentimes at presentations, I find I'm saying kind of the same thing that I've said before. So this was an opportunity for me to, it is an opportunity for me to try a few new things to see how they'll go. So you're just going to have to trust, and we'll see how they go when we're in the middle of it all. Somebody mentioned, was it Rita, going down the rabbit hole? You know, yeah. I started visualizing center of the labyrinth, you know, just a rabbit burrow, you know, and say, oh, I wonder what's down there. So that's where the bus is heading, down the rabbit hole. In all of my workshops, what I do is there's a threefold aspects to them. So and these threefold aspects are what you will find in any path of advancement or discovery, or in any, you know, tradition of even spiritual traditions. So there's knowledge, experience, and reflection. So the knowledge is, I will be giving you some information. We will be having an experience possibly related to that and a little bit of quiet time interspersed with that, just to let it all sink in. Sometimes the reflection comes later, you know. Sometimes the experience comes first in life, and then we read about it and we say, oh yeah, we join the dots and put it all together. But those three aspects are an integral part of everything I'm doing, so that I and all of us, we learn and we experience, and we what's the word, absorb what we have learned and experienced, and we're ready for the next learning and experience. So we have a few stops on the bus this evening. I'm going to pull up the presentation. So I'm going to I'm going to present some information to you. I'm going to say and throw some information at you. I'm going to present some information to you. Some of it you may have touched on before and heard before, and some of it may be new. But there are new connections that I'm discovering. I think the more I work with the labyrinth, the more I learn about the labyrinth, the more I realize how little I know. That there's just, it seems to be like the magic porridge pot, you know, the gift that keeps on giving. You know, there's always something else, and there's always something new for me in the labyrinth. And after 20 years, that's a wonderful thing to say, and it keeps me alive and alert and on my toes and looking for new things. So I'm going to bring up a presentation. At any stage during presentation and talk, feel free to raise your hand and ask a question for clarification. The only time we will be doing some form of a meditation or immersive process. So obviously that'll be quiet time-ish, not for questions. But any other stage, and maybe somebody, I don't know whether Rose, we need somebody, I need somebody to keep an eye, because I'll only see a short strip of 4 or 5 people on the right side of my screen, so I won't be able to see everybody with the presentation there. So somebody else shout at me if there's a question that's being asked. What's the word? Mobile phones on airplane mode. We're doing a chitty bang bang bus, you know. We might be taking off at some stage, and fire exits are at the front door and the back door of the bus. Yeah, so there we go. Share screen. Now where is it? Sorry, just a minute. There we go. I just realized I was in the middle of my presentation, so I go to the start of it. There. Okay, so some people give me a thumbs up. I can see Louise and Rita, and yeah, okay, gotcha. So this is day 2 of the Magical Mystery Labyrinth tour. It's called Labyrinth Day. I based this 3-day tour on the ancient festival of Puck Fair in Ireland, which is the oldest known running fair. It's probably a pre-Christian fair. So right, there we go. today's Labyrinth Day. And some of what we're touching on, I was looking at what I wrote a few months back saying what I'd be doing on day 2, and I was saying, what was I thinking? And I'm not sure what I was thinking, but we will be touching on the labyrinth as a symbol of oneness, and the labyrinth is a symbol of you and experiencing those. So the labyrinth has been called a symbol of many things. I remember doing Viriditas training in Chartres many years ago now. And Lauren says, the quickest answer is it's a symbol of your journey in life. If anyone asks you what a labyrinth is or why you're interested in it. And she said, if people are interested, they'll ask more. And if they're not, they'll say, all right. So twists and turns are like the turns in our life that we experience, that we're moving towards the center of ourselves and what we experience. On the way, the turns in the labyrinth represent the major turns in our life. Some appear to bring us closer to the center, and some appear to bring us further away. It's a symbol of you. And I think this has been a lot of my labyrinth work, that mainly with the classical labyrinth, but I'm delving into the Chartres labyrinth as well, that each point on the labyrinth has a meaning and a significance, and it relates to some aspect of you and your life. And the detail of some of that is, a conclusion I came to is you're a labyrinth, and the labyrinth is you, and everything emanates from the center of the labyrinth, but also from the crossing point. So in brief, I'll be passing through these briefly, and we'll see how we're going towards the end. We will have time for questions and answers, particularly if people want more detail on some of these slides. This is one of the first labyrinths I painted, by the way. It's a bit crude, but I like to use it. It signals my labyrinth journey, and the colors of the rainbow, colors of the chakras, and what they represent. And depending on where, when I'm walking a labyrinth, 7-circuit labyrinths, when I stop in any chakra, sometimes I will check to see which one of my energy centers are, when I stop in a particular circuit, which chakra it relates to, or the security or creativity or my power or love or communication or my intuition or my divine connection. So on that level, almost everything that we experience in our life is felt and found in one of these circuits of the labyrinth. There are quadrants in the 2 main labyrinths, in the Chartres labyrinth and the classical labyrinth. And for me, these represent the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. And these elements have qualities that, for me, the qualities that they represent are: the earth is a grounding and a connecting energy. The air is a spiritualizing aspect. Fire is energizing, and the water relates to emotions. And initially, when I had assigned these quadrants, people a number of times would ask me, why do you put them in that order? And my first response was because they felt right. And there's no right or wrong. When something feels, it was a good escape. But the more I look at it, the 3 outer circuits are related usually to the 3 lower chakras: your solar plexus, your sacral, and your root chakra. And they're often seen as the physical chakras relating to your physical existence here on Earth. And these are the 3 that are contained in the Earth chakra, in the Earth quadrant. Whereas in the top 2, in the air, the spiritual aspect, and in the energizing aspect, you have all the chakras. And then the emotions are often felt mostly in the body, in the lower chakras, in your root chakra. If you're having a physical experience of something that's going on in your life and not in your stomach, or your legs are wobbly, these often are physical responses to emotions that you're experiencing, and they're found in the water, the emotions quadrant. The other insight I had was that you start the labyrinth in the earth quadrant. You know that when you are about to enter, you're entering in the quadrants, the grounding, your presence here on earth, and your ending, the center, is in the fire, or the fire of an enlightened being. It refers back a little bit to the alchemist, who is going from the base, the lead of the base metal, or the base physical experience to the goal of an enlightened being. When you walk these, you walk through them in many different combinations. You know, you're not just going in a circular motion. Sometimes you're going from air into fire, and sometimes you're going from water into fire. And when you go through them, we spoke about the rotating of the elements, and you come in touch with the fifth element, the quintessence, spirit, joy, peace, love, whatever name we wish to put on that and that experience. So again, it's like the rotation of the elements and passing through all the elements. The four elements brings us in touch with the fifth element, and a lot of what draws us back to the labyrinth is the experience of the spirit, or the experience, those moments that we experience in the labyrinth that are a little bit beyond the mundane, that there's something about the labyrinth, and I think many labyrinth people will say the same thing. There's something about the labyrinth that keeps drawing me back, and I may not always be able to express what that is, but it's there and it makes me feel good. The energy field, in my experience and my checking, is of the labyrinth. It's like a torus energy. It's like a toroidal energy, like that donut emanating. For me, it's from the crossing point, the 0 point here of the labyrinth. The energy field of each one of us is similar. We have a toroidal energy field all around us. So when you put the two of them together, when you interact with the labyrinth, it's like there's the two fields of energy are rearranging and aligning themselves so that you, the energy in the labyrinth and your energy gel in a particular way, which brings that sense of peace and balance, that it's all around you as well. So it's not only an alignment within you, it's all around you. I was looking for an image. I only came across this last night, but there is more and more I'm seeing and feeling and sensing that there's an intelligence to the energy of the labyrinth. There's an intelligence there that when you, any of those of you who may have had groups on the labyrinth, that different people can have different experiences. Someone is having a deep maybe release or feeling quite sad and releasing that, and then somebody walking right beside them could be feeling quite happy and elated. It's like, how does the labyrinth know which is which? You know, there's that's the mystery part of this tour. You know, that I let you dwell on and contemplate. But the for me, the labyrinth is more. It's a gift to humanity to help us and assist us in progressing and advancing. The 7 circuits I also found, and I have assigned the layers is probably the wrong word, but the levels of vibration in our energy field to the 7 circuits also. So that's not only your energy centers along your spine or the central channel of your body, but it's also your energy field. It's like the toroidal energy field, that there are different layers and each one of them has a purpose and a meaning and a significance. I will come back to this later because I could talk for a half an hour on that alone, and we'll see if people are more interested. We'll dwell a bit more on it. But I did have an insight in that these energy bodies, when we're coming to Earth to experience the physical, that we pass through each one of these energy bodies, or we interact with each one of them to manifest before and as we're about to be born. So very briefly, and I just give me 1 or 2 minutes, I put them in the order in which you walk the circuits of the labyrinth: 3, 2, 1, 4, 7, 6, 5, and 8 for the center if we wish. But your astral body is generally seen as the body people use to have out-of-body experiences. It's the energy that we use to travel from one place to another, even when we're asleep, and that. Moving out to the soul body is that higher, sometimes called the higher self, that aspect of you that contains all your experiences. It's your pure self, your authentic self. In brief, you move out before we incarnate on Earth. We interact with we decide we're going to travel in the astral body. We connect with the soul body, to review everything we've experienced in whatever tens, hundreds of previous lifetimes, and also to consider what we want to experience in this current incarnation. And for me, the spirit body, outside body, there isn't really a limit to this, is our connection to everything and everybody. So it's my spirit body is the same as yours and the same as everybody else's. It's that body of oneness that we occasionally experience at moments of deep spiritual connection, that there is no separation between any of us. And we move from there into the causal body, is sometimes called the karmic body, which is a review of the experiences we've had. What do we want to experience? Is there something from previous experiences we want to experience, either from the opposite side? Is there something new that we wish to experience? And then we move from there right into the center. The etheric body is like just maybe an inch or so above your physical body, but it holds the blueprints of your physical body. So that really is the designing of the actual physical body, male, female, tall, short. All the characteristics of the physical body are determined by the etheric body. It's like, how would you say it? Like when the hairs stand up on your head, that's the energy, or your hairs stand up on your head, the back of your neck, on your arm, that's the etheric body that's just outside the physical body that you're feeling or sensing. And you move out into the emotional body and the mental body. Some of these are formed and developed, in the early years. But if you do bring some emotions and some thought patterns from previous lives, they form, and at that stage, just before you're born and you enter the center of the labyrinth, is like being born. Now I can talk a bit more about that later, but that's a very brief description of how the labyrinth maps how we energetically not only decide to come to Earth and what kind of life we're going to experience, but the actual process of it and the stages in which we go through. The labyrinth is a symbol of the interconnectedness of all of existence. The more, as I said, I work with the labyrinth, the more I see more connections. And some of them, I think it may have been described to me, and I use the analogy of going to the top of the mountain. If the top of the mountain is oneness or enlightenment or whatever name we wish to put on that, there are many paths to the top of the mountain. But the farther up the mountain you go, the paths start merging. So there's less and less paths. So 2 paths become 1, and then 3 become 1, and 4 become 1. So I said out of curiosity, and I've never done this slide before, I just said I'd pull together some of those interconnections that I've either spoken about before or I'm aware of, just to give a visual of the different connections. So I've said the labyrinth is a symbol of you. I've mentioned the 7 chakras, mentioned your energy bodies, the 4 elements, and there are external connections. And I have a number of slides on the 6 petals on the chart, the 6 different realms that when you're at the center of the chart labyrinth, you're connecting with the 6 petals. And these realms are of different vibrations. So they're mineral, plant, animal, human, angelic, and divine. And I have a lovely poem from Rumi that goes through these in detail. The 7 heavenly bodies have been represented in the 7 circuits of the labyrinth. So many things with 7 circuit labyrinth resonates with, 7 seems to be a vital, integral part of physical existence here on Earth. So the 7 colors of the rainbow, the 7 notes of the musical scale, and 7 comes through in many other ways, the 7 seas, the 7 heavens, the 7th heavens that we're often spoken about. But there are 7 visible heavenly bodies also. And the labyrinth sometimes has been used to represent these. So they're found in the labyrinth, and in astrology and in alchemy, these represent these whole different qualities also that we don't have time to go into in detail. I just threw in this, this is an example of a crop circle from in the UK back in, I think, 2004, 2006. I've been looking for years at crop circles and experienced one near Glastonbury. And very few labyrinths had appeared in them, but this is obviously seed pattern for the classical labyrinth. There is one labyrinth, and I'll probably find it if I went looking for it. There is one crop circuit labyrinth also that has appeared. This is also sometimes known as the magical square of the moon. It's a 9 by 9 square, and there are different types of, crop folds, for the want of a better word, on it. But the classical labyrinth is the magical square of the moon. The classical labyrinth is sometimes called Luna's labyrinth, which connects it back to the 9 by 9 square. Again, that's probably a half an hour talk if we had time. And there are the various connections with different paths of advancement that I have identified. And I think there are more. I'm still looking for those when they crop up. So there are DNA triggers, 9 turning points in the labyrinth. Not sure if I mentioned these the last time or not, maybe not. But these are 4 outer physical ones and 4 inner spiritual ones that map our progress to the center point. Is called the spirit point, the point of oneness with everything. There's a tarot, which we touched on last month, and that the 22 points on the 22 major arcana cards are found in the classical labyrinth at the various points and circuits and turns. Connection with the Kabbalah tree of life is a secondary connection, because the 22 major arcana cards in the tarot, there are 22 paths in the Kabbalic tree of life, and there are also 7 sections across, which I've seen equated to the 7 chakras. So we have a connection between the tarot and the tree of life. There's the alchemy, and there's 7 stages of alchemy, the 7 turnings, sometimes they're known as, which are found at each of the entrances, or the beginning of each of the 7 circuits. And there's Mithraism, which was quite common in the Roman Empire back at 2000 years ago. And there are 7 stages of initiation or advancement in the Mithraic religion. And interestingly, the bottom 3 relate to the physical body, and the next 4 relate to spiritual development. So there's a whole plethora, or a range of connections with the labyrinth that, for me, either consciously or subconsciously, when you interact with the labyrinth, you're interacting with all of these. You're connecting with, like, there's layer upon layer upon layer and dimension in the labyrinth, so you're not necessarily just walking this winding path, that you're interacting with every aspect, everything that is represented in these paths also. And so that the labyrinth is, I'm not sure if I put this in words before, is maybe the ultimate, or the composite of many different spiritual paths. Is the integration of them all, the interconnectedness of them all. And key, and we'll be working with this a little bit today, is the turning point, or the center point, the star point, or the spirit star point, the spirit point in the classical labyrinth, which is also found. It's the start, for me, it's the starting point of drawing the labyrinth, but it's also found in the Chart labyrinth, and in any derivatives of the classical labyrinth, there'll be that main or pivotal point in the seed pattern. And I meant to mention at the start, I know it said in the email, if people need to have a pen and paper handy, if not, go fetch preferably an A4 size sheet if you have one, because we'll be shortly drawing. Oh, I'm just putting in this stop to tell you where we'll be going in a little while. I'm going to give a workshop in Cornwall in September. But one of the things that I'm interested in seeing is what's called a tri-stone. It's in the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic in Boscastle in Cornwall. And it's around, I reckon, maybe 200 years old. The age of it is not fully known, but you can see there's a labyrinth etched into a piece of slate. I called it Tristone. It was used by wise women in England who traced the path of the labyrinth in and out and chanted a galder or an incantation to attain higher states of consciousness. And so we'll be having a look at that in a little bit later on in the evening for most of you, morning here. And we'll, if we have time, we'll shoot over to charts as well. So I'm just going to stop sharing there for a moment. And come back. If you have your pen and paper ready, we're actually going to draw a labyrinth, and I'm sure many of you know how to draw a labyrinth, but I've been playing around with, I won't say different ways of drawing labyrinths, but we're going to draw one that we will be using. And during the evening. So it's not only seeing and knowing that the labyrinth is a symbol of you, but actually creating our own personal labyrinth for this experience that we will work with. I'm going to share my screen, just my whiteboard. I can pull it up, whiteboard. And if I'm making an assumption that most people here are familiar with how to draw the labyrinth, but if not, can you please put up your finger and hand, and I'll go slower. Yeah, and then that's. I need there. I need a wider pen to see. And for some reason, the draw.
Tony,
okay.
I can
yeah.
see Lois has her hand up.
Okay. There's a question coming. Will I stop sharing there for a moment? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Was there a question? Is there a question? Somebody. No.
I'm not familiar.
Okay. Perfect. I'll take it slowly. So the first labyrinth I draw is a demonstration, is seen as maybe the most common way to draw a classical labyrinth. Depending on, some people get this straight away and some people need a few goes. So we'll get you there is the intention, and I'll just pull up the whiteboard again here and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to do it quickly first. Lois, is it? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so very stronger. There we go. Okay, so that's the spirit point, but you draw a cross through that spirit point, and you put. Let's see, can we get a thicker one? You put a dot on each corner. God, this is very big. Shout if I'm going too fast. I suppose that's and an L bracket. Does that make sense? It's very thick one, but anyway, I'm just redoing that. That's called the seed pattern. So that's what we would have seen in that crop circle image. And so most labyrinths are drawn this way. You start at the top of the cross and you loop it around onto the next one to create the center of the labyrinth. And then you go, I'm going to start on the left and move around to the right. So you start at the top of the L bracket and bring it around to the dot on the right. If that done, go up to the dot in the top left and bring it, loop it around, and it'll go on to the L, the bottom of the L on the right hand side. And it's a process of starting on the left and moving around to the right. Next one starts in the top left L and goes to the center line. An easy way is to bring, you can see my pencil there, is to bring the pencil across the arm of the cross and start here, and you draw another loop up and around. for those experienced labyrinth people, Sig Lonergan, who wrote a wonderful book on labyrinth, says that if you draw a labyrinth 10 times, you'll be in an altered state of consciousness. And I was giving an online workshop. Japan here, I'll draw this first and I'll talk then. So I picked up here, and you just, it's the same with each loop, you just loop up and around and over the top. So we started at the L and brought to the dot. You should have, if you're at this stage, you should have 3 lines and a dot at the bottom still. So the bottom left-hand dot, start there and come up and over and around. You just be careful with this one. Sometimes you to miss the 3 bits sticking down, that one on the right. And the last one is the bottom of that L bracket or upside down L bracket on the left, bottom left, and you bring up and over and around. And there's your labyrinth. I'm going to undo all this one by one. Did you manage it, Lois? Yeah, okay. So for those of you who haven't done it, first of all, we're going to do an upside down labyrinth. So we're going to start with normally you'd have the cross, you know, a third of the way up the page, but this is going to be a third of the way down the page from the top. Actually, I'm just going to bring this a little bit lower just for draw here, just to make sure I have enough room. Man. So you draw your cross. You put in your dot in each corner and you draw an L bracket. So the seed pattern is the same. But this time when you start at the bottom and draw it around here, I'm going from left to right again. Just start on the left, whichever one is available, pick it up, bring it around to the right. If I'm going to quickly, it's the same process, but it's upside down. See how you do. If you want me to do it a bit slower, I do that as well. Whoops, in there. And last one. Now you could cheat, of course, and do it the old way and then turn your page upside down, but I'm going to erase all this again because I put that in the middle, the dot in the middle. I'm going to draw an X and again put your 4 dots there. And the seed pattern the same way with those L brackets. Almost all, if you draw it that way upside down, or you're drawing, it's like a spiral. I know you're lifting the pen off the paper, it's like you're spiraling. But I have found that if you draw it back and forth, it's more like the sensation of walking the labyrinth. So if you haven't done this before, start at the bottom of the cross and go around to the left. And just move out now to the dot and go back to the right. So it's are people with me, or do you want me to slow down? I'm moving out to the left, picking up the dot in the bottom left corner and bring it around to the bracket, the bottom right. And then starting on the right. So we're going right, left to right, right to left, left, right, right, left. And it's a different, different feeling. Sorry there, where was I? There. Back around. So you're starting on the same side you finished the last one. the end result is the same, but the sensation of it for me is quite different. Are we okay in that? I don't see any hands raised. So now we're going to add another layer. I have a way of drawing the labyrinth where each pen stroke has a meaning and significance as we draw it. So it's not just a matter of drawing, but that we're imparting an energy into each pen stroke. And I'm not sure where I came across this or how it came to me. But I put the words "I am" before each pen stroke because each of the lines, it's either as a significance, the cross in the labyrinth can be the 4 directions, it can be time, solstices and equinoxes, and the elements. I include as many of the qualities of the labyrinth as I can as I'm drawing it. And so the point in the center of the labyrinth is the "I am" point. So I draw that and say "I am." I'll do this first and we'll do it together after, or you can do it with me and we'll do it collectively, the whole lot of us. The horizontal line is your presence here on earth at this time. I am present. The vertical line is your connection to the divine. I am divine. The dots on the corners are the 4 elements, whichever way you wish to put them. I am earth. I am air. I am fire. I am water. I am direction. I am dimension. I am space. I am time. Now, if you're sensitive and you say these words with meaning, you can feel the energy of it going into the labyrinth. So to draw the center, this is I am one. I am one. This circuit is the crown chakra circuit. I am awareness. Moving across to the dot in the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to be creating the 6th circuit, your 6th eye chakra. I am intuition. Moving up to the cross, your throat chakra, speaking your truth. I am truth. Heart chakra, I am love. If you want to put a bit of emotion into it, I am love. Dot in the top right, your solar plexus, I am power. Dot in the top left, your sacral, your 2nd chakra in creation, I am creation. And the very last one encompasses everything. I am all. So we're going to do that again. We're going to do it collectively. That was a demonstration. I know some of you were following me, but we're going to do it one more time. And this labyrinth is the labyrinth that we will be using for the rest of the mystery tour. I'm going to undo all this again and put even more energy into the next one. So people ready? Have you enough of, I should have told you get more than one sheet, one page. Words have more meaning if you say them out loud. So I'm going to repeat this out loud. Those of you who would like to share your unmute, you can please feel to do that. So I'm going to start and I'm going to say everything twice. One for me and then one a second time for you. Whoa. And I'm getting a buzz already. I am. Horizontal line, recognizing your existence here on earth at this time. I am present. I am present. Acknowledging your divine nature. I am divine. The four elements and what they represent. I am earth. I am air. I am air. I said it twice, of course. I am fire. I am fire. I am water. I am water. The brackets are layers and dimensions. I am direction. I am direction. I am dimension. I am dimension. I am space. I am space. I am time. I am time. We're starting at the bottom. We're going to go back and forth. So we're creating the center, acknowledging you as oneness. I am one. I am one. Your crown chakra, this seventh inner circuit on the inside is I am awareness. I am awareness. Feel the energy in the words as you're drawing and saying these. Your third eye, center of intuition. I am intuition. I am intuition. Up to the arm of the cross, your throat chakra, about speaking your truth. I am truth. I am truth. From the arm of the cross, we're going back, creating the heart circuit. I am love. I am love. Up to the dot in the top right, your solar plexus, your power center. I am power. I am power. Onto the dot in the top left, your sacral chakra, center of creativity. I am creation. I am creation. And the last one, top of the cross, all the way around, it's enclosing everything. I am all. So you should have a labyrinth that you can trace your finger through. I just double check if you want that you can go right through. Because now we're going to finger trace it, the finger labyrinth walk with the labyrinth we've drawn. Can I stop sharing? I can see everyone. Has everyone got a workable labyrinth? Yay. Looking good, Louise? Yeah. Some of you may have experienced this rod before. Cool. One that you can trace your finger through. Yeah. Everyone okay? Something along these lines? Yeah. So the intelligent energy of the labyrinth knows where you're going to stop. So individually and collectively, as you trace the finger labyrinth, I will be indicating when you're to stop, but I'll be doing this by holding a divining rod that will move when you're to stop at a particular point. We will be, different people will be stopping at different points. If you feel point is significant, or if I tell you just put an X on that point, because some of the points will be, but instead of doing it this way, we're going to, you're going to turn it upside down. You're going to, for want of a better word, drop into the labyrinth. There's a different energy than when you have it this way and you kind of step into it, or step up into it, then you're going to use it the same way you drew it. So the opening is at the top of your page. And it's more of a surrendering, sorry, excuse me, I'm just getting a blast of energy here. It's more of a surrendering into the labyrinth. Like going down the rabbit hole. Somebody mentioned earlier. We're going to go down the rabbit hole into the labyrinth when I start. And just move your finger at not too fast and not too slow a pace. And as we progress, I will be saying when to stop, and you stay stopped until I tell you when to move. And it's not me, I'm just tuning into the higher energies of each one of us individually and collectively, so that every stop is going to be significant on some level. Are we okay with that? Yeah. And when you get to the center, wait there for everybody else, or if you're last, we'll be waiting for you. Yeah. Now, I don't know who's going to be last, so we'll need put a thumbs up on the screen when you're in reaction when you're at the center. Okay, so when you're ready, start tracing down into the labyrinth with your finger and stop. I know some of you might not get a chance to start, but stop there. This is about dropping into your deeper self. It's about accessing or being prepared or ready to delve down into the depths of your divine being. So there's a pause here just to give time to settle into the labyrinth, settle into yourself. So I don't know, I'm not moving this rod. I don't know exactly how long this is going to move. It'll move for however long as is needed for each one of us and all of us collectively to settle into what we're about to do. And when it comes back straight to the center, okay, now start tracing your finger, but start tracing it with awareness, because as you tune into your finger in the labyrinth, you may become aware of a sensation in your finger or elsewhere in your body, and stop, everybody stop at that point. I would say if you have a pen in your hand, put a little X there, because this feels like quite a powerful point for some, if not all of us. I can safely say at this point that everybody is on the the first circuit that you enter, which is at the third from the outside, about your solar plexus, your own personal, individual power. But it's about becoming aware of that and in touch with that in a gentle way, which gentleness isn't always associated with power. But it's about knowing that it's there and connecting with it from a place of love. And okay, we're good to move on. So start tracing your finger again. Feel your way around. If any of you get a sense that you need to stop at a particular point, and I don't say so, it's okay to stop. And stop there. Sorry, sorry for shouting. When the energy for a group is coming through, I get a blast sometimes. So stop and keep your finger wherever it is on the labyrinth. If it feels, some of you may be feeling a sensation in your solar plexus. You may feel queasiness or a slight tightness in your stomach area, that's okay. That's your solar plexus energy center. Just a little bit of clearing happening there so that you will be able to connect more with your inner power, divine power. And again, just relax, settle into wherever your finger is. So if those of you who can see the rod, movement is either a clearing usually or an energizing of that point. And when the clearing or energizing has happened, it pauses at an angle for a period of time just to allow that shift of energy to settle. And then it comes back to the center, pointing straight at you, so you can start moving your finger again and move your finger with awareness. And stop. Sorry. Stop. Hold your finger there where it is. So if you feel that clearing, again, this is a clearing energy for some people from your solar plexus, just a clearing of some energies, some memories, some thoughts that will be stopping you from stepping fully into the powerful being that you are. And there, it's gone. You're good to move on again. So start tracing your finger again. And just, it's not about getting to the center, it's about feeling every inch or every millimeter of this labyrinth. Stop. Okay, we may stop 10 times or 20 times or 30 times. There's no given in any of this, it's different each time. And just pause there, just become aware of any sensations in your body, become aware of your presence in your physical body. Right, we're good to move on. So nice and slowly and easily, start tracing your finger with awareness. This is about the journey, not the destination. Stop there. No, I know from the feeling of this, which is somewhat different, that many people are in the second circuit, you know, from the outside, or the second, you've gone around the turn. Oftentimes the energy coming through for the first circuit, your solar plexus, is a lot more powerful and forceful, for want of a better term. Whereas with the sacral chakra, it tends to be a lot more gentle. As if this is a more sensitive area, and any clearing that is happening there is happening, you know, there's a preciousness about it. Just as there's a preciousness about this energy center in your sacral area. It's the center of creativity. It's where the womb and ovaries are in the women, but it's where in all humans that our creativity and what we create and what we design and in what we do. And creativity isn't necessarily, you know, painting fine artistic pictures or composing music. You can be creative in how you dress and how you cook and how you speak. Just feel yourself getting in touch with your creative center in the center of your sacral lower abdomen. There we go. We're ready to move on, so start again, consciously tracing your finger. And stop there. Pause wherever you are. If you have a pen nearby, just put a little X or something where you're under where your finger is. As there's an empowering energy coming through. It's not necessarily for the solar plexus, it's for you, wherever you are now in the labyrinth. This feels like it's about getting more in touch with yourself and who you are and where you are, what you're doing in your life. So just as we stop on the labyrinth, it's becoming aware that oftentimes in life we don't stop. We're keeping going, or we want to keep going, or there's always something to be done, or there's always the next thing or another thing. The reminder here is that it's okay to stop. It's actually beneficial to stop, and what appears to be nothing happening. I spent time with a spiritual healer who used to say, when you think nothing is happening, everything is happening. As we're getting deeper into the labyrinth and deeper into ourselves, you may become aware of subtle energy around you, subtle sounds around you, a little subtle buzzing or humming in your ear. It's a great indication that you're becoming quieter within yourself. Give yourself permission to stop, do nothing, be nothing, or be everything. And now, when you're ready, start moving your finger with even more awareness. Stop. Stop there. Just pause. And just have a check-in as to where you are, what circuit you are on the labyrinth. Where it relates to in your body, it feels like somebody's in the throat chakra. And stay paused. And when you're ready, you can start moving your finger again. And stop. And go again. Nice short one. So if you've reached the center, just keep your finger there until we all meet up as one in the center, and stop there, wherever you are, stop. And you can go again, start moving if you're not already at the center. If you are at the center, give me a hands up or a thumbs up or something, just so we know. Cool. We'll just wait for everyone to join us. And stop there. You're at the center, hold there and just become aware of being at the center. Wherever you are on the path, just become aware of wherever you are on the path. And start moving again. And stop. And yeah, go again if you're still moving towards the center. If you're a long way from the center, just move a little bit quicker. For another minute or two to bring everybody together in the center. Good, I think we have everybody at the center. Yeah, great. I'm just going to take this down. Keep your finger in the center. And when you're ready, move it to the spirit point or the I am point, this crossing point here. Move your finger to there. Oftentimes when I'm walking a classical labyrinth, I stand on this point after being at the center. Just move your finger there. Now, as if your finger is a great vacuum cleaner, I want you to suck up all the energy and dimensions and associations of the labyrinth into your finger. Draw into your finger all the positive energy that's in every aspect of the labyrinth. All the healing that's in the labyrinth. Feel your finger becoming alive and more vibrant. When you feel that you've gathered everything that's in the labyrinth in your finger, thank the labyrinth. Put your finger on your heart center in the middle of your chest. And feel the energy from the labyrinth pouring through your finger into the center of your chest, into the center of you. Now, if you feel like closing your eyes, you can close your eyes with your finger, and with your intention, feel yourself following that energy right into the center of your heart center. And deep into your heart center. And deeper into your heart center. And if you want, you can relax your hands, but keep your attention in your heart center. You can take down your hand and just go down deeper again into your heart center. Like there's layers and dimensions within you. And you go and you settle at one. And when you're there for a few moments, the next level opens up for you and you go deeper again into that heart center, that heart energy. And when you settle into that level, become comfortable with that, the opening to the next level appears and you drop down another level into the depths of your heart, into the depths of your being. And you settle there, and then another level opens. You drop down into that even more. Dropping down, settling, dropping down, going deeper and deeper and deeper into your heart center. Center of you. At some point, one of these openings, it's an opening into pure joy. You feel immense love deep within you. Feel immense peace within you. Feel immense joy within you. It's almost an overbearing and overpowering love. Just allow yourself to sink into that loving light deep within you. The spark of the divine within you. Feel that peace and feel that joy and feel that love. Feel it expand slowly within you. Just allow it to expand. You don't have to do anything, just allow it. This is your pure light, pure love that you are, now expanding and coming up from that point deep within your heart, expanding, filling your heart, filling your physical body. Physical body that enables you to have all these experiences you're having on earth. And then feel that energy, your loving, divine energy expand out into your etheric body. That's an inch or so around your physical body. Feel yourself expand. Some parts, your fingers may start tingling, or you can feel the sensation of yourself on your skin and your arms and your legs. You're more than a physical body. And just allow the energy from your heart to expand out further to your emotional body. Extending maybe 6 to 8 inches, 150, 15, 20 centimeters beyond your body. This is the energy field that holds your emotions, and feel any heavier emotions that may still be there, just feel them dissolve, become lighter. And the emotions of love and joy and peace fill you. Now feel your energy expand further out into your mental body, further out from your physical body, where all your thoughts are contained. So in any thoughts that may still be there that are heavy or negative or non-supportive of you, allow them to dissolve in the light that's flooding them. And that only thoughts that are self-empowering and loving exist in your energy field. And allow your energy to expand further out into your causal body, your karmic body, memories of past lives and deeds and actions. And allow the loving, beautiful energy that you are expanding into your causal body to dissolve any heavier energies. Any thoughts or feelings you have about things in past lives, known or unknown, dissolve. There's only joy and happiness. And allow your energy to expand further into your astral body. Body in which you travel, the energy field or the energy in which you travel beyond the physical. Feel that become lighter and clearer. Feel your energy expand further out into your soul body, to your connecting with the true essence of who you are, your higher self, your divine self. Remember who you truly are, divine, immortal being. And now expand even further out into your spirit body, the oneness body. Body in which you are connected to everything and everyone. You've expanded out through the circuits of the labyrinth, beyond the labyrinth. Your oneness body is everybody else's oneness body, so just feel your connection to everybody in this group. To all the realms that we find at the center of the Shart labyrinth, to the mineral realm, feel your connection to the earth, the stones, minerals that make up your physical body. You are part of the earth and the earth is part of you. Feel your connection to the plant kingdom, foods that you eat, the medicines that you heal with. Feel how they vibrate and resonate through your physical body. And feel your connection with the animal kingdom, with your pets and companions, with the food animals that nourish the body, with all the creatures in nature, your magnificence and wonder. Feel your oneness with all of them. Feel your connection with the human realm, with your parents and grandparents, children, grandchildren, 7 generations back, 7 generations forward. You are connected to them all. Feel your connection with the angelic realm, 5th petal in the Chartres center. Feel your connection with the guides and angels that are looking over you, helping you, sending you signals and messages, helping and supporting you. Feel your connection with the non-physical realm. Listen, be aware of any thoughts you receive. They may contain a message. The last circuit or last petal in the chart center is the divine realm. Realm of love, the realm of God, the realm of spirit, the realm of universal energy, the realm of oneness. You are that. I am one. I am all. There is no end to who you are. You are infinite. You are divine. And knowing that this is the energy you are, keeping this awareness of this energy in this state of being, slowly bring your attention again back towards your physical body. Become aware of your heart center, from which is your I am center, from which everything resonates and reverberates. Feel your physical presence in your body. Feel your presence in your toes. Wiggle your toes and move your fingers and your neck and your shoulders. Come back fully present in your physical body with the new awareness. Labyrinth is a symbol of everything, a symbol of the interconnectedness of all of existence. You are a labyrinth. You too are a symbol of everything and a symbol of the interconnectedness of all of existence. There is no separation. It's just you. So, and when you feel ready, holding the energy and the feeling of where you are, then slowly open your eyes so you are holding that energy but present also here in this group. Aware of yourself and aware of your connection with everybody else here. Should I say welcome? Welcome back? Just want, when people are ready to touch base, open up for comments or questions or observations or just how people are doing. Yeah. I could have probably left you there for the next half hour, you know. Yeah. Well, we can do that too. We can just sit here in beautiful silence. I'm not sure if I said it the last time, but I regularly say it at some of the workshops and at moments like these, that some very wise person said, don't speak unless you can improve on the silence. So enjoy the silence. We don't get many opportunities to be in silence, and to be in an active silence like this is. It's a vibrant silence. You can feel the energy of it. It's not just, it's not a nothing silence. It's an everything silence. It's a labyrinth silence.
Tony, as I'm coming out of it, I felt a real desire to walk with my finger from the center back out to the entrance of the labyrinth.
Yes.
Just holding this beautiful energy. It was, it was really nice. A kind of a little bit of a way of grounding it.
Okay, so that's
yes.
Yeah. I think maybe, Lisa, thanks for that. I think anybody else who feels like doing that, just put your finger back at the center and just in your own time, even as we're speaking, you know, and even as we're interacting here, slowly bring your finger back out. Because for me, the labyrinth is an active part of life, and you can be in the labyrinth and yet interacting with whatever's going on here as well. You know, that it's not something separate that you do, it's something that you integrate into whatever is happening. Bring it with you. I have music somewhere, but that might ruin the silence as well, you know. Yes, Louise. Yeah, you're muted, so
yeah, I just realized I would need to unmute.
Yeah.
I had my eyes open for most of the time. I felt that couldn't really shut them. But at the very first stop, you know, we'd barely started and we stopped. It was, well, I was just at the first turn. And as I paused there, I had a flood of colour emerge through and along that. The colour was deeper along the lines of the labyrinth and more pale in the path. And it was a kind of lemon. It wasn't a bright yellow, but it was really noticeable, and it was in the vicinity of where we'd stopped. It wasn't right across the labyrinth, it was just in the vicinity. And that happened each time I stopped. So I'm just wondering what the significance of colour, whether you can explain what's going on.
I can give you my interpretation. Was it the same colour at each stop, regardless of where you were in the labyrinth?
Yeah, it was. It was lemon.
I would put what you're seeing and feeling and experience over and above any of the interpretations, like the chakras or the elements. So the yellow, even though it's a light lemon yellow, yellow is associated with your solar plexus, which is their power center. You know, if you go red, orange, yellow, which is the color associated with the third circuit, where was the first stop. But it feels like that it was about you getting more in touch, more aware of the inner power that you have, the inner spiritual power that you have. And then if you did take any note of any of the stops, you could layer that on top of the circuit or the point where you stopped. You know, so that spiritual power may be coming through in, if you're going to be speaking about what you're doing, or even speaking about labyrinths on this level, you know, it might be in the throat chakra. Or if it's in the heart, you know, circuit, even though it's yellow you're seeing, it's about bringing power that you have inherent within you into the love of what you're doing. That's how I would see it. But I would firstly say, if you have any other inkling or indication or thinking about what it might be, go with what you're getting rather than what I'm telling you you're getting.
It's really helpful to have at least you know, an interpretation or an analysis. The other thing, when I looked at the 4 quadrants, most of my stops were in earth and air.
Right.
So I don't know whether that factors into the...
I mean, if I was to interpret that, if I was doing a one-to-one session with you and watching closely where you were stopping, I mean, the earth is about grounding. And oftentimes people who are quite spiritual, you know, sometimes have a difficulty being grounded and being here and connected to the earth. So you were stopping the air for me as the spiritual aspect of everything that you passed through. So
well, I just landed after like 2 days of flights and terminals and goodness knows what. So that might have something to do with
you
that.
were up in the air.
Yeah, and then I don't want to hold everybody else up, but one final thing was that when I had reached the center and I just paused and stayed with what was happening, the whole of the, I'll call it the bottom, so that's the the big bubble bit, the whole of that part of the labyrinth transformed into an image you showed us near the start where you've made a mandala kind of.
Yeah.
That was there for the entire time I was holding, but not the color, just the.
Yeah. I haven't a clue what that is. You'll have to interpret that yourself, Louise.
All right. Well,
I don't claim to know everything, or I'm not going to, Pastor, excuse me, I'm not going to bullshit you. You know,
what intrigued me was that I don't know how that happened, because the lines are not. I can't even see how. Now looking at it, I can't see how it connected up, but it was there. It was there.
That image that I did, you know, the way we drew the seed pattern, I drew a labyrinth off each of the 4 arms of the seed pattern, and you get that integrated labyrinth. So it's like you do one and do a 90 degree, then 180 degree, and then 270.
That's what.
And then I just colored in the sections intuitively. You know,
so I was getting just the lines.
Yeah, the lines. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to do, even freehand. You know, so you've done. Most of us would just start at the top. You've done one at the bottom. Now try doing one at the side. Even yourself when you're doodling, or try doing the It's actually very difficult to do it by hand, because by the time you get to draw the 4th labyrinth, you can't see where any line stops or finishes. You know, because they're joined on to all the others. Each point is used 4 times, so it's a bit mad. I think I had to use a compass or something in the end just to.
Well, yours looked like you used a compass, All right. Thanks.
Yeah, that was interesting. That image, when I brought out the cards 10 years ago, I'm not sure if I've told this story or not. I thought the job was done when the cards were created. Then I realized, gosh, I'm going to have to promote these now and get them out to people. So one evening I got on the internet and found every mind, body, spirit magazine in the world that I could find, and emailed them, you know, saying, you know, I have this new deck of cards, and if you'd like to write an article, I'd send you a complimentary copy, or if you'd like me to write an article. And I sent about 60 emails, and I got 2 replies. One, interestingly enough, was from a magazine in Australia wanting me to spend $1,000 to take out an ad, and said yes to do an article if I took out the ad. And the other was from a TV show in Santa Barbara in California. And I didn't even know I'd messaged a TV show. And they said, we'd like you to come on the show. And it was called Bridging Heaven and Earth. It's still there on YouTube. But they also had an art project called Heaven to Earth Art. And they asked me, would I do 2 art pieces, and if possible, you know, to illustrate the labyrinth as a connection between heaven and earth. And that was one of the images I did. And I think I interpreted some way on the show. I can't remember, you know, so yeah. So
Thank
that's
you.
little, yeah. You're welcome. How did people find dropping down into the labyrinth? Is it the first time anyone would have done that, or have you done it before?
No, I haven't done that before. Tony, one of the kind of most nourishing moments for me was when you actually kind of overlaid a spiral with that beautiful deepening into our heart.
Yeah.
So I found that really interesting. To me, that kind of brought my experience alive, which was kind of the spiraling over the kind of, you know, through the circuits. I work mostly with the Chartres Labyrinth. The other thing I really loved there was that whole kind of cosmic kind of invitation when we move through the petals to link ourselves into that kind of unfolding. Do you kind of do you sort of articulate or work with a kind of a cosmic labyrinth at all as such? You know, with a cosmic understanding of, you know, maybe bringing some quantum physics, you know, that holo movement, understanding hologram movement. Yeah, any of that, I'd just be interested because I'm sort of pressing into that, and I just kind of need some conversation on that. Yeah, but anyway, you're not apt. Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose yes and no. I haven't delved into it hugely. You know, I think there is a cosmic consciousness turning point in the classical labyrinth.
Right.
And my sense is, and I think with the Shark lamp, you know, the way I said there are 7 visible heavenly bodies in the classical labyrinth on the 7, equating to the 7 circuits. I think quite recently, well, not quite recently, maybe 2 or 3 months back, that the 11 circuits of the Shark labyrinth, that there are 4 other heavenly bodies in the solar system. So the visible ones go as far as Jupiter and Saturn. But after Saturn, you have Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and then there's Chiron, which you will find in astrology charts, but you don't hear of it mentioned much. So, and I didn't have, I suppose, time to play around with it, you know, so I would say feel free, Judith, on that level to take it. But on any other level, I think everything is found in the labyrinth if I'm aware enough or you're aware enough to see it. So if you're being drawn in a particular direction, explore it, because what I have found is sometimes I draw and doodle and write bits, and then I'm meditating maybe the following morning and something else comes in, and it filters through when I'm in a receptive state.
Yes.
Yeah, and that we are.
Yeah, I'm happy to trust some of that. I'd love the combo Rumi, which you mentioned, through those.
We'll give you a blast. I'll give you a blast of that now before we finish up. Yeah, and I don't know when we get to Cornwall or not on this trip. We might have to wait till the next day.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, cheers, Judith. Yeah, thank you.
Tony.
Mark, you looked like you were sitting forward there to say something.
Yeah, that was the first time that I'd dropped into the labyrinth. It was a really, it was like.
He dropped in, he dropped out first. That's interesting. And I think Louis, oh no, they're there. So if you're in the same house, drag him into your room there. Presume he'll come back in. Oh, there he is. Yeah. You're muted there, Mark. Yeah.
Hello? You there?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, you missed a lot now when you were gone, you know. But we're not going to tell you what you missed.
I dropped right through.
You know, there's always something symbolic when labyrinths are concerned, but you'll have to figure out the significance of that for you, you know.
Yeah. It was it was really cool. I had really strong body reactions every time that it was almost as soon as you said stop, and it was like boom, you know, like each time. It's nothing new to me, but it was very much a release at every time.
Right.
And then after a bit of a time, a fleet of archangels came through, one after the other, and then Saint Germain came sort of near. Getting to the end, and it was a very still. It was such an empty journey. This one, you know, there was no chatter. It was like it was being in the finger almost. It was such a beautiful empty space the whole time. And then I'm just about to start. I was going around the last bend into the center, and I thought, I wonder where Tina's at. And we had our fingers on the same spot. Whoa. Together, and we both came into the center at the same exactly the same second. It was absolutely amazing. It was, so it was, and then the going to the center point and then bringing it back in to the body, that was just was just sinking. It was just, that was beautifully guided. Thank you so much. Just to be able to keep warm, you know, it was like another gate. Boom. It was just like coming as we came down, it dropped in. It was dropping in, dropping in, dropping in. So yeah, worked beautifully. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, the hairs are standing up on my arm as you speak about that. That is the first time I've done that with any group, you know, doing that, dropping in at the center point. It just came to me in the last maybe week or so. And plus I'm long enough on the road to trust these things now, you know. Before I would have said, no, you can't do that, you know, but now I know I'm not doing it, you know. So, and that's, I've learned that with the Labyrinth, you know, if you're doing anything with the Labyrinth and you get an inspiration to do something a little bit different or that seems new, I go with it, you know. And because I think at one stage in my early days when I was going doing a workshop, I was getting quite anxious, and I just suddenly had, I don't know who said it, or the Labyrinth spoke to me or something. He says, you're not doing it, Tony, it's the Labyrinth is doing it. You're just the man in the middle, or you're presenting it, you know. And if it's, and also if it's not for people, it's not for people, but at least you're giving them a different opportunity of a different experience, you know. So, and even when we were doing that, I was getting, I should have been focusing on guiding you completely, but I wonder if you went in from the side or the other side, will the experience be different again, you know? So that's your homework now for the next month, you know. Come back, and you know that, like, there's so much, it's just fascinating, the Labyrinth. There's so much, and I mean, I know you've got loads of them, you know, and there's probably more you could have, but there's so many different ways of interacting with it that why didn't, you know. And it was a friend of mine, I think, in the Netherlands, was, you know, where I do a workshop. She was kind of saying, have you tried dropping into it? Like it's a surrender. It feels like a surrender. You just letting go, you know, suddenly there's no control. Whereas when you kind of drive up into it, you're more in, it feels like you're more in control. It still is an experience and a healing experience, but it's just from a different approach, I think, you know. So
we just made a Abingdon Labyrinth last week. And it's that, you know, we drop down in, it's on a slope on a hill, and it has that dropping into it, and you come around the last bend, and then you drop into the center. So I'll take that to the 337 meter walk. Next time
I'm going to have to come and walk that Labyrinth. And I did walk in Abington one at a Labyrinth gathering. Who had one? Maybe John Ritter, I think, might have had one, you know, a canvas one that he had indoors at a Labyrinth gathering. Again, you know, a different energy, but still an active energy in it, you know. So it's like, great. Thank you. Okay, soon somebody was asking about Judith was asking about the shower. I'm going to skip to a quick magical mystery tour stop to Shart. Are you ready? We're going to have to zoom there. Hold on now. Let me see. Can we find it? Yeah, here goes. So, have you got that? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Yeah, you can see it. Okay.
Don't come back.
Yeah. So, Shart Labyrinth. Yeah, in France, obviously. This is my artistic interpretation of it. The top of the mountain is symbolic of the height of spiritual awareness, and the Labyrinth for me leads to that. But there's a poem by Rumi. You hear the 6 realms in that. I think others have associated them with the six realms, 6 petals: mineral, plant, animal, human, angelic or cosmic, and divine. And so the poem by Rumi. Rumi lived at the same time that Shart was being built, which is kind of interesting. And again, I think a different lady in the Netherlands sent me this, you know, after I had introduced the realms and the petals. She says, have you be aware of this poem by Rumi. Now you get slightly different translations, you know, if depending on where you look, obviously translated from whatever language Rumi wrote in, I don't know. But here is, and I've done it petal by petal. I died as mineral and became a plant. And listen, I'll share, I have this on a 1-page sheet, so I'll send that to Joy or Rose or somebody who can share it with everybody who was here or everybody in ALN. I died as mineral and became a plant. I died as plant and rose to animal. I died as animal and I was man. Why should I fear when I was less by dying? Yet once more I shall die as man, to soar with angels blessed. But even from angelhood I must pass on. All except God doth perish. When I have sacrificed my angel soul, I shall become what no mind e'er conceived. Oh, let me not exist, for non-existence proclaims in organ tones, to him we shall return. So then I'm going to stop the sharing. I'm not going to try. I'm not even going to try and interpret that note. That's. Yeah. Yes, Natalie, were you going to say something? Yeah.
Yeah. Am I unmuted? Yeah.
Yes, you are. I can hear you anyway. That's
good.
The most important part.
What's really interesting with that last group of cards and Rumi's poem that you shared,
yes,
I kind of actually had that experience within the Labyrinth. So when you did the meditation, so my background is I'm a naturopath. And so different trees and different plants were coming up vibrationally, and I could go into all sorts of things that I saw. But there's a remedy called walnut, and we all know the shape of a walnut. The labyrinth can be traced within our brain. So, and every organ in our body was the other thing I could see, that whether it's your liver, wherever it is, we're encoded. And then Judith in Queensland brought up quantum physics. And so this is all very synchronistic for me today. I was only reading about string theory before I came into this. And so, of course, string theory comes down to the point of, well, for anyone who's read anything.
Are you going to explain string theory? I'm listening intently.
No. I wasn't Einstein last time. No, I can't do that. But it got to a point. There's a particular book I'm reading, and I can maybe post that later. And again, it's tying in everything to do with I am. So this week, everything I've been reading, everything that's come to me has been about I am, followed by. So there's an incredible divinity in what you taught to me this evening, to wherever else in your time. But string theory is literally all about, we get down to super subatomic particles, even beyond, you know, the electrons and whatever. And there is this filament of energy that they've been able to measure, but it's you know, they can't really photograph it. They can't do, because it's too far out there. But what it does demonstrate is there's just this net, and we're all connected, every single cell, every single organ. So this so that's where I went. But the tree, that last bit was just extraordinary, because there were trees, even oak with doors opening, and quite extraordinary, very, very powerful, and a huge vortex. When we went into the heart stuff, just everyone I think experienced probably this, just extraordinary. It was very hard for me to come back. I would have just
I could see that, and not you alone. I could see how long will I stay here and say nothing, you know.
So I don't know if that's been of any help to Judith, but definitely string theory. That's what I was picking up on. So if that resonates.
thanks, Natalie. I would say go with what you have and start writing and scribbling and doodling, because that's how more comes through. You know, that's how kind of, you know, take what you've got here from me or for something Judith has said, and just take it and run with it, you know, and see where you end up, you know. And I've just been fascinated by the connections as sometimes a connection you know, or sometimes I get a sense, there's a connection with the tarot, and then I find it. And other times it's the other way around, you know, that I don't know what the other way around is. But I know everything is connected, and I know the labyrinth is a very powerful symbol of that interconnectedness. It's just a matter of bringing it through, you know, and I've brought through some of it, but I still feel I'm only scratching the surface, you know. So there's probably string theory in the middle of that as well, you know.
Oh, no,
you know.
I don't know anything. I'm just saying I just read about it. So
I've read about it too. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned it in the book or not, you know, or I can't remember whether sometimes things got in and other times they didn't, you know. But yeah.
So thank you. I'm very new to this, everything. So the labyrinth, I only really discovered it in February. So by going to a workshop. So I'm finding it incredibly powerful. It's like another part of my journey, because I haven't known how I'm personally, but I won't go into it too much, going to relaunch, if you like, myself after the work is finished, other work and another so okay,
cool.
thank you.
Thanks, Natalie, and enjoy the journey. It's a wonderful journey of exploration, you know.
It is. Thank you.
Cool. I saw somebody's hand. Was it Judith or somebody was going? Judith. Oh no, just a thumbs up, was it?
No, Tony, can I ask if they're your cards? Are they cards?
Yes. I was going to pick one, actually, you know. I'll pick one now. I usually pick one at the start, you know. one for the group, and see, is there another message here, you know. Shuffling the cards is bringing chaos, and picking a card is order from chaos. One jumped up. Look at that, cosmic consciousness. The cosmos is within you, awaken to this consciousness. So, and that spiral is emanating from the cosmic consciousness point on the labyrinth. And that's my own artwork. I wasn't, what's the word? When I had the cards, I had all the messages for the cards, but I didn't have the artwork. And I was asking artist friends of mine to do some images. I was kind of telling them what I wanted in the images, and I got some lovely artwork, but I just felt the energy was missing, you know. So I said, maybe I'll try one or two of them myself, you know. Well, I said I'd try one, and the first one I did was this card, Simplicity. Nice tree-circuit labyrinth, childlike drawing that if there was a mistake in it, who'd know, you know. So I think that was safe. But only 2 weeks later, I created this, and I still look at it and say, wow, this, you know, this came through me, and my hand created that, but there's something bigger at work here than me, you know. So and people have asked me, you know, people who do labyrinth presentations, can they use it? It seems to resonate with people, and I'm getting tingles again. So but it takes anything with the labyrinth, you just go for it, is my, you know, even if you have any reservations. I mean, I didn't know, I ended up painting all the 48 images in the cards, not knowing, I hadn't painted since I was 10 years old, you know, until I started redoing that. So if you're getting an inclination to do something or try something, just go for it, you know, do it. That's what you're here for, you know. And that's partly what the labyrinth for me is, enabling me and enabling others to have a more fulfilled life, a more vibrant life, to enjoy life, you know. It's meant to be enjoyed and fulfilling and full of fun and love. And much appreciation to the Australian Labyrinth Network for giving me free rein. We didn't get to Cornwall, but we'll see. I'll try and get you there the next day. But they have other surprises for the next day. Other new things to try out on you. You're the guinea pigs, by the way, guys, in case you didn't realize, you know. but you're very lovely guinea pigs. Guinea pigs. I'll stop. Yeah.
Fantastic, Tony. Yeah, it's been, we're getting close to our time. And, yeah, it's been a very rich experience, and I'm sure the ripple effect will keep on traveling through us, and the pearls will, show themselves even more. I was going to mention, if anybody does want a set of cards, I do have, I think, a couple in stock at the Labyrinth Collective at the moment, and I do have access to some more. So if anybody wants a set, they are a great piece of blessing in art.
Yeah. And I would say get them from someone in Australia if you can, because the postage and shipping from Ireland has gone crazy. You pay more for the postage than you do for the deck of cards, I think, at this stage. You know.
And our next tour departs on July the 22nd. So book your ticket early, everyone. No doubt will be a very enjoyable experience. And thank you everyone for joining us for wherever you are around this planet, and at this time for this exploration into the unknown of where we're going. So, and thank you to our impeccable guide to keep us traveling safely.
Mark, can I just flag up that I put into the chat the title of a book I came across this week, and I think Judith and Natalie would find it interesting. It's just exactly all about what they were asking about. Neil T's Complexity Theory.
Yeah, great. I just need to ask a tech question, because I'm not on the computer. I was about the recording. Tony, are you the host so you can?
No, Joy was recording it to her laptop.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Okay,
so I presume she's still open, I know she's gone off partying, but her I can see she's still there, so it should save to her computer, even when we close down. Yeah.
All right.